night. Got that little base hit. Cal got the first hit last night, had a little smirk on his face down there at first base, knowing he went 0 for 7 to start the season, Jason. 7 punch-outs. They will get going at some point, but you do want this team in the middle of the lineup get moving, and it's going to be via the long ball at some point.
We've seen so many extra base hits from this team behind Emerson Hancock here today, the right-hander who has been kind of a flex guy for them, 6-starter type of player, and he'll face a lineup loaded with left-handers. We are joined by Adam Ottavino. He's going to go inside the pitch. You're back there in the bullpen. You're home for 15 years in the big leagues. What do you think about this matchup against all the lefties, Adam? And nice seat, by the way.
Thank you. I think it's tricky. You know, he's a sinker changeup guy. They're loading the lineup with lefties. He has revamped his breaking stuff into more of a cutter sweeper mix now. But if he can execute strike one, he can stay ahead of these guys and do what he wants. Just can't afford to fall behind.
How do you do that against such a loaded lefty lineup, Adam, with his stuff?
Yeah, he's just got to figure out what he's hitting with early. That way he can make sure he gets to that 0-1. I mean, he doesn't really have the weapons to overwhelm this team, so he's going to have to execute. But if you're behind in the count, that makes it a lot harder.
We'll watch that all first inning long. There you saw the Cleveland starting lineup. It's presented by Capital One, and it starts with Stephen Kwan, who's one of the best contact hitters in all of Major League Baseball. DeLauder, who's in the 2 spot, and Rick, he's found a home there in the 2 spot, you have to imagine.
No doubt about it. I think Boat can put that in ink right now, the way he's swinging the bat.
It was 10 two hitters last year that the Guardians used.
Number 2 hitters that they put into that second spot, trying to find somebody hit between the 2 All-Stars, Kwan and Ramirez.
So this is our first Sunday Night Baseball game on the NBC platform here on Peacock. We are so glad to have you guys here in the booth, and we're so looking forward to winter. Right.
Look. It's been nice, right, Rick? The first couple of days we had blue skies on opening night here in Seattle. Kind of rare in the month of March, but hey, man, today all of a sudden got the roof on. It's cold. It's chilly.
Jason's spoiled. He came from L.A. and San Diego.
Right. I did. I thought it was going to be 70 and sunny everywhere.
He's wearing boat shorts right now.
That's right. It's so glad to have Sunday Night Baseball here on NBC, and we appreciate all of you making us your destination for the end of the baseball week. And here we go. Stephen Kwan is ready. A young, talented hitter who is just one of a kind in that batter's box with his ability to make contact. We are underway on Sunday Night Baseball. It is strike one, and if Dan Wilson said one thing to us that stands out early for Emerson Hancock, it's just positive counts, Ron.
Yeah, getting good counts is one thing, and you can see it too. Look, he's pitching out of the stretch. The one thing that was huge for him last year was transitioning to the bullpen at the end of last year. Why? Because you talked about Dan Wilson getting into good counts, and then how can you put some of these hitters away? He kind of had a little bit more of that bullpen max effort mentality. So once he gets the 2 strikes like this, to the top of that strike zone,
like he did there, he missed with a fastball 1-2,
and you know, put these hitters away.
Yeah, good luck with Stephen Kwan. He swings and misses like twice a week. 1-2 from the Georgia native Emerson Hancock, and he tried up in the zone again with that cutter. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They've been throwing a lot of fastballs in this series to the hitters, the left-handers here, seeing if they can get some swings and misses, and that happened very well in the second game.
Come right at him. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Adam Ottavino, how do you get a swing and miss off of Stephen Kwan?
I think it's a mistake to even try. Honestly, I think you want to get him to put a ball in the play in the air. That's my approach here. If you try to get him to swing and miss, this at bat might go 12 pitches.
On the ground, first base side, and playable for the former Guardian Josh Naylor. He'll flip it to Hancock. And for those of you that have not gotten a look at Chase DeLauder, the swing he put on the ball last night that he homered on was, I mean, you said it, Rick. It's out of this world what he can do with a bat at age 24.
Yeah, when you look at Munoz last night, who threw the pitch at 97, that was not in the strike zone. To take a ball to left field in this ballpark, as damp as it is and the wind blowing in, it takes a man to hit it out of that part of the ballpark.
First pitch ripped right there. Here it is from last night. You don't see swings like this. He almost cuts it off.
Right.
Yeah, and I wish we had got a reaction of Munoz, because he had a look on his face like, I can't believe he hit that pitch.
That far. 0-1 is downstairs, ball and a strike to DeLauder.
Well, he hit the first 3 home runs too, and they're all hanging sliders, right? So something that was trying to get down in under the hands, and the Mariners have been trying to attack him down and in. A couple mistakes, but that was impressive. That shows you a lot right there, going the other way especially.
Okay, so he's yanked 2 changeups here, Adam. When you see that, what's in your mind?
Typically when you're yanking the pitch, you're just opening up a little too early with your rotation. You just got to keep yourself closed a little bit longer. That way you can get the ball in the lane. I mean, you know the changeup's going to come back to the plate, but if you pull too early, that's when you see that type of miss.
Pot foul. Brendan Donovan, the former Cardinal, watches it fly away. Love for baseball. This stadium, by the way, if you haven't been, there's a roof overhead, but it's open air essentially, and there you see it in left center field and right center field. So you're like kind of baseball al fresco, but kind of not. 2-2. He ripped a fastball by him. 2 gone. Emerson Hancock's opening strikeout of the season.
And this is a good sign. Look, he was 92, 93s to start this game, but this has been the difference for Emerson Hancock at the end of 2025. Going to that bullpen, how can I get to that max effort and get that fastball, a little bit of that upshoot action to it? I get to 96 to 97 at the top of the strike zone.
2 down off of that fastball, and here is, you could argue, the most unheralded superstar in all of Major League Baseball, Rick.
Without a doubt. I mean, consistently every single day, you take him for granted, and a lot of people don't get an opportunity to see Ramirez every day. Hit his 400th double in last night's ball game.
Yeah,
he is going to go on to be probably one of the greatest Guardians Indians of all time.
Yeah, what makes him so special? You see him every day.
Just his attitude, the approach he takes. You watch him run out of the box. He does everything very, very well, and he works hard to do it.
The beat writers have a helmet counter for the amount of times his helmet comes off as he's running the base.
You know, he comes out of the batter's box, he turns singles into doubles because he runs out of the gate, and that's the key to it.
By the way, can we get a blanket up here?
Oh, yeah.
Can we borrow one of those blankets that they have in the crowd?
Oh boy.
It is baseball season everywhere, and that is the fun part about this game, right? NBA Sunday night basketball, it's all climate controlled.
Yeah.
Not here. It's 43 degrees at game time.
We're getting used to it to go back to Detroit and Cleveland.
That's right. That's absolutely right. What a beautiful ballpark.
It really is.
To watch baseball in. 2-2 on Ramirez. Another long count against him. And this is a guy that the past couple years in Major League Baseball is #1 in extra base hits in counts of 6 pitches and longer. Look at this. #1 in hits overall last 2 seasons. Tied for 4th in extra base hits, and that is a drive down the right field line. And foul. So again, the point being, #1 in hits, tied for 4th in extra base hits, #1 in slugging percentage. The later you get against him, the more damage he does.
Yeah, you better hope he puts a ball in play early.
That's ball 4, and he's always a threat to steal a base. He's going to steal more than 300 in his career. One on, 2 out for Kyle Manzardo, who had his first full season in a Cleveland uniform last year. But Stephen Vogt said it to us before the game. He knew going into last offseason this team had to improve its offense, as you see that nasty sweeper from Emerson Hancock. Back-to-back Manager of the Year awards for Stephen Vogt, and we've seen the offense at points in this series.
Yes, the long ball, but it's all been DeLauder. The rest of the lineup came in today 0 for 92. I mean, haven't hit a home run in 92 at bats.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this kid's done it all, but they will. I mean, they were second to last, you know, in the slugging percentage and, you know, the long ball. But they got to find a way. They've been able to in this series. That's what's made them good, and that's what got them going last September. In that month where they went 19-4, you know, they scored 50 runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, they felt like they were never going to lose again.
Right. They were in one of those zones, you know, and that's something that they didn't do all year.
1-2 to Manzardo. Another rising fastball and another strikeout for Emerson Hancock. 26 years old, out of Winter Park, Florida. 23 starts last year in his maiden voyage as a Cleveland pitcher after coming over from Arizona. And he will face the top of the order with Brendan Donovan, who led off as a Mariner the other day with a home run. But Rick, as you watch Ciccone today, where do your eyes go early?
Well, hopefully he's got a slider that he can work with. Usually he can command his fastball very well. That slider is going to be an impact, and he's going to have to throw that breaking ball as well.
There's a fastball to the outside corner, 1-1 on Donovan. For this Mariners team, and you mentioned it, Ryan, right off the top of the show, 11 of the 14 runs have come by home run.
Right. And going back to 2025 too, you know, over 50% of their offense came via the long ball. So what they try and do, they try to get a guy like Brendan Donovan, you know, into this lineup to cut down a little bit on the swing and miss as a team. But again, the middle of this lineup just hasn't quite gotten going just yet.
Well, I got him.
Clipped him, so a hit by pitch for Donovan. Here comes Cal Raleigh. 60 home runs last year. You wear the guard on the leg. Cal Raleigh, what a sensation he was.
Absolutely.
60 homers. What did he do that most impressed you last year?
Well, I think, well, first of all, the position he's playing, right? And this was, you know, well spoken of last year, obviously in the MVP race against Aaron Judge. The narrative was enough people understood how difficult that is to have that kind of offense while doing what he's doing behind the plate. He is not just an offensive catcher, right? I mean, he is more of a, you know, platinum glove winner.
Right.
He handles the pitching staff so well, and to do what he did offensively. But if you're going to, you know, narrow it, hone in on the offense, the swing from the right side too. That was a huge difference. You go back just a couple years ago, guys would match up. They would always bring the lefty in to get him hit from the right side. You simply couldn't do that in 2025.
Yeah, he was hitting homers the other way as well, catching every fastball. I always said, well, we may never see a catcher have a year like he did last year offensively, and he couldn't win the MVP award. How's that?
Yeah, it was a really tough vote.
Oh,
I know. Lot of
I'm
people.
sure it was. But I mean, with a catcher hitting 60 home runs, no one's ever done it before. I would think you would have to win the MVP award.
I think Stephen Vogt, as a curveball misses, Stephen Vogt said to us before the game, kind of jokingly, I would take 9 catchers if I could. They have 3 on the roster, but I think if people played the position every day and felt it, more of the votes might have gone to Cal Raleigh. 3-1 comes inside on him. So 2 on. Nobody out for Julio Rodriguez, and we'll give you the rest of the Mariners lineup. It's presented by Capital One. And this is the danger zone now for Slade Ciccone, because you have Rodriguez, who had the nearly 800 OPS. Naylor came over and pounded the baseball as expected. Then Arozarena and Raley, who's got a home run in the first 3.
Yeah, and Julio Rodriguez went off in that second half last year. But can you cut down on that right there? Some of that chase. And talking to Bobby Magallanes a couple days ago, the hitting coach for the Seattle Mariners, just talked about Julio just being a little jumpy. Yeah. Just trying to do a little too much here. You got that opening day energy coming off that WBC.
They've thrown him now. That's 58 pitches in the series. 42 have been some kind of fastball. This is entering today. Look at all his fastballs.
Well, and that's how usually they pitch him in, hard they pitch him in. Now he does have that little inside out approach. We saw that last night with that RBI. But if you can handle the inside part of the plate, and if he's not going to adjust, they'll just keep pounding him in. We've seen that already from these Guardians pitchers.
And he's notoriously a slow starter. He never picks up till the second half. It's not that every year is different, but if you can put that pitch on the inside part and hopefully he tries to pull it. He did not last night, and he tied the game off Cade Smith on a nice 97-mile-an-hour fastball going the other way. That's his stroke. His stroke will come when they hang breaking balls and things like that, where he can pull it to left center field.
You saw on StatCast powered by Google Cloud that he just hasn't seen many of those, and he's been in disadvantaged counts for a chunk of this series as Ciccone gets in on the kitchen of Rodriguez, and he flicks it on to third and Schneemann for the lead man and one away.
But I mean, now we'll live there just like that, especially if you got a little bit of run in on those hands.
Yeah,
you can get Julio to do exactly that right there, and you can wear him out inside. The one thing about Julio Rodriguez, though, going back the last couple of years, he's cut down on some of the noise, right? Some of the different opinions on his swing and trying to figure things out. Last year at the All-Star break, he the All-Star game, he wanted to stay home and just kind of catch his breath a little bit before his swing. And you mentioned too the second half, he came out of the gates firing.
Strike one to Josh Naylor. This is in some ways the Josh Naylor Bowl.
Well,
Cleveland against Seattle.
Yeah, and Ciccone was traded for Josh Naylor, and they went over to he went to Phoenix and came from Phoenix. Josh went over there, and then they traded him over here to Seattle later on.
And when they got Ciccone, it was he was coming off a 6.5 ERA season in Arizona. But boy, Cleveland, and you've seen it, Rick, they just develop pitchers.
Yeah, they gave him an opportunity, and it's like Stephen Vogt said when we were in his office. We ask the pitchers who they want to be and what they want to throw, and we'll work with you. And they certainly did that with Ciccone, and he got better as the season went on, because he threw 7 starts of 7 innings, and that tied Tanner Bybee, who's their main pitcher, or one of them.
1-2 breaking ball got hammered foul. The full details of the trade for Naylor for Ciccone as a little one gets a souvenir. December 21st, just short of Christmas. And straight up Ciccone for Naylor.
I'll tell you what, if you're a straight up trade like that, if you're Slade Ciccone, it tells you a lot, right? It speaks volumes of how the Guardians feel about you.
Oh, certainly, as that's foul again. So Adam, 2 curveballs that were not exactly where he wanted them. Where's his mind, do you think, right now?
I think he could still throw another one. He just has to get it to the ground. I think he has Naylor in swing mode here, so continue to expand the zone one way or another, either north or south. Give him a chance to swing at a bad pitch.
Do you like the curveball again?
I do, but he's got to bounce
it on the plate. I agree.
Yeah, that's the one. Check swing. He did go. Strike 3.
Good call.
That's the one, Adam, right? That's where you want it?
Yeah, that's the one. You want to get it right over the middle, but behind the plate, right where you can't touch it. And he gets it right there.
I'll tell you what, that pitch is nasty, right? Obviously, we heard about him in spring training trying to develop something that breaks into these lefties or away from these righties. But, man, you got a weapon like that. So there's times where at spring training, you go in to develop that extra pitch or that different movement or ball behavior. And all of a sudden, you get away from what some of your big weapons can be. But, man, that pitch, lean into that right there. They bounce that breaking ball all day long.
Here's Randy Arozarena, 2 on, 2 out for the Mariners in this first. There's that fastball riding in.
He's got a good fastball that plays, and he can get it through hitters. He can control it. Normally, when he's on his game, he's on the edges of the plate.
Arozarena takes high. 2 balls and a strike. Luke Raley is next. 2 on, 2 out for Seattle, and what's been a really entertaining back and forth series between these 2 playoff contenders and pennant contenders again. That's exactly what you're talking about, Rick, though. That's a fastball that plays, and there's a little run on it, isn't there?
Yeah, there certainly is. And I mean, hitters, it surprises him, and he got better and better at that last year. But I feel these 2 teams are very similar. Good starting rotations. They both have great bullpens, and these guys hit more home runs. The Seattle does, than the Guardians do.
He tried to go upstairs. It's a long fly ball to center. Kwan is back at the track, and Stephen Kwan, relatively new to center field, tracks it well. Randy Arozarena gave the crowd a thrill, but we're FanDuel's home run odds for tonight's game. I have Chase DeLauder plus 700.
That's what I was looking at. He'd be my go-to guy, I think.
You know, you're joking around about this being the Josh Naylor Bowl. It's also just the Naylor Bowl in general, with Josh for the Mariners and Bo for the Guardians, former teammates, always brothers. And as some folks know, but if you haven't heard, there's another Naylor in the pipeline as well. Miles, the youngest of the three, with the Athletics.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
It's a hard habit to break.
It certainly
It's a hard habit to break. Send your cards and letters. There's strike three, and Naylor goes down. Another fastball up in the zone, Adam. He's paired that well with some east-west stuff.
Yeah, I'm loving this new approach from Hancock, utilizing his low arm slot. It's only 18 degrees, very low, so when he throws up in the zone, it has that uphill effect to the hitter, and he's utilizing that really well so far in this game.
Is that like Wu? Also,
yeah, absolutely.
A low arm
100%.
slot where he can get that high fastball by a lot of hitters, and he did.
Yeah, and look, we watched Brian Wu last night, and ridiculously high percentage of fastballs, right, between the 2 and the 4. And I think that when you look at that, obviously the command, Brian Wu's on another level. Velocity, look, you know, we see 95, 97 all day long, but it's that deception and that angle. You know, the way that angle comes on, it's just that upshoot. And Emerson's really leaning so heavily into some of that angle too, with that lower arm slot.
Let's watch home. Adam, we just saw from the umpire cam back there. What do you think hitters see with that upshoot?
It's hard to say. I mean, it feels like it's rising. It's that rise effect. You know, you think you're on it and you're just under it. Your bat scoop's under it. That's the effect there of the upshoot four seam from a low slot.
That ball gets on the hitter much quicker, I think, before he can pick it up.
You got anybody in mind, Rick, that you faced that had that kind of look?
No, I haven't hit in so long. I haven't seen guys throw that like that.
It's a little bit of a crazy example, but Craig Kimbrell.
Okay.
In his prime, throwing from a pretty low angle straight uphill. He was kind of ahead of his time doing that.
A couple other examples around Major League Baseball. Obviously, Jack Leiter has some of that. You got Joe Ryan with the Twins has that.
Face him. He's in the Central Division.
Plays up.
It's that whole water polo Joe Ryan thing, right? That upshoot water polo action that he's got.
Yeah. Even too, when they started, talking about ball behavior and some of the metrics, talking about the spin, the higher the spin, the better. But now all of a sudden, it's more of that angle. And of course, too, unless you can make something move, creates so much deception.
Bunch of pull side foul balls from Daniel Schneemann, who is the do-everything infielder, outfielder. He started at 6 positions last year for Cleveland. What a weapon.
And he does a nice job defensively. You know, it's not like he just plays positions to play him. He's very effective, and, he doesn't hurt you. He was...
Whoa. That is a grotesque sweeper. Wow.
Yeah, and look, we've been talking about the sweeper, and Adam has mentioned it, but let's not forget too, this is a pitch, maybe crossed up a little bit right there from Cal, just by the reaction. I mean, that's how nasty that pitch was. Get another look at it. This is a pitch he developed coming into spring training last year, and then he was in the rotation. They had the injury to George Kirby, so Emerson had a chance to throw, but he had to put it in the back pocket. It just wasn't doing what he wanted to do. And you come out of spring, you feel good about a pitch. It's not quite there. He had to resort back to just more of that generic slider, and then all of a sudden he gets down to AAA, comes back in the bullpen, and that's where he could really hone in, because he was getting some lower leverage opportunities to really mess around with that sweeper and get the confidence back with that pitch.
That's a fair baseball over to third. Donovan, nice play to retire the side. It rode the line for as long as it could, and Arias is out. Emerson Hancock is rolling on a beautiful play by Donovan. wild adventure last year for the Guardians and the Mariners. Before the All-Star break, Cleveland was 12 back in the AL Central, 15.5 at one point. They end up surging to the finish line. They pass the Tigers to win the AL Central. Mariners close 39-27. They both get to the playoffs. Cleveland loses in the wild card round. Seattle just one game away from that very first World Series in franchise history. But two teams that very much look loaded for bear this year, and Raley is a part of that for Seattle, who's back and healthy finally.
Yeah, and good to see, right? Again, we've talked about the middle of this lineup from Cal, Julio, and of course Josh Naylor coming back, where everyone was just so excited to see him come off that free agent board so quick. But guys like Luke Raley, already 3 home runs, but it was a bumpy road for him last year. It gets crowded in that right field spot for sure. Dominic Canzone made such an impact in the second half of the season. But man, the power is there. Dan Wilson talked about it in the pregame. Power is there. It's just a matter of having that consistency and staying healthy.
Strike 3 on a slider from Ciccone, his second strikeout. And I would use the phrase that he's starting to get hot. But I don't want to bother Adam Ottavino, who's got a hot chocolate and a blanket out in the bullpen. So starting to get hot, it really only applies to one person in this ballpark. How you doing out there? You comfortable?
I'm doing a lot better than I was 10 minutes ago. Sorry, guys.
You know they had 4 hot chocolates lined up, and there's 4 lined up out there. There's supposed to be 3 in here, 1 out there, but he's got all 4 of them out there apparently.
We're going to make my kids at home jealous. They're the hot chocolate connoisseurs. So.
Oh, look at that little one.
Well, he's keeping daddy warm.
Canzone, third base side. Schneemann is back on it, and he snaps it up. Nice play for out number 2. I'm just really glad that Adam is enjoying himself out in the bullpen.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
He should. I mean, that's a good place to watch a game from. He's done it his whole life, so he's right at home.
How close are you to the guys out in the bullpen?
Very close. They were laughing at my predicament for a little while when I was shivering over here, but I told them they could go run and get me a coffee or something, but they're a little busy, I guess.
What would you be doing in the second inning of a scoreless game as a bullpen arm?
Well, I wouldn't be out here yet for most of my career. I'd still be inside making a nice sandwich. I talked about this the other day, going through my routine. I didn't like to get out here too early. But later in my career, when I was out here at this time, we'd be, doing a lot of would you rathers and that sort of thing, breaking the ice with the boys.
We have the graphic. It says inside. Job of going through sequences. It should or inside the clubhouse. It's great.
Look, when I first broke into the big leagues,
I just got a delivery.
Wait, what'd you get now?
I think a coffee. I just got hooked up.
What is this?
Matt Festa, my fellow Paisan from Team Italy, hooking me up.
There we go.
Yeah. Matt Festa walked you a coffee?
Yeah, he did.
That's great.
Don't burn your throat on those.
Into right field. That's a base hit for Cole Young, 22-year-old for the Mariners, who is just a baseball grinder.
Yeah, he is, and this is a big time for Cole Young. And the reason I say that is because, look, he broke into the big leagues last year. He got a little overmatched, right? He got exposed by lefties, and he really got exposed by plus velocity. We've already seen this was the big emphasis going into spring training. Can you get to that fastball? We've already seen him take Gavin Williams' 97-mile-per-hour fastball at the top of the strike zone deep. Got that base hit last night, that double last night. So he's starting to show, man, that he can handle plus pitching here in the big leagues. And it's starting to get crowded too in that infield. Another guy, Leo Rivas, who's stepping in for J.P. Crawford, who's on the IL right now. You got Colt Emerson in the rearview mirror right now.
Right. He's over your shoulder. He had a nice spring, didn't he? He opened up a lot of eyes.
So for Cole Young, it's a chance. He's got a little bit of runway. Try and lament that second base position.
There's a close pitch here just above the zone. Remember, ABS challenge system is active. Each team gets 2. If you get it right, you keep it. We've seen some interesting challenge sequences. The back-to-back strikeouts that weren't for Eugenio Suarez the other day that he challenged back-to-back.
Right.
But, and the drama in this series of Randy Arozarena challenging as he was on his way to first base. I don't know about you guys. It's good theater so far. There's drama in it.
Right.
You know, like we go back and say the pitch clock, when it first started, everybody was looking to see if the guy was going to get rid of the ball in time and everything like that. And now you don't even bother looking at the clock. You just take it for granted. This is all new. But it's going to be good. I think people are going to.
X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
You were saying, Rick, about the ABS system?
Yeah, people will you'll get used to it and how they want to go about it. You know, it'll come back here and it's got to go through its time, and people will get used to it.
You feel like hitters too are a little bit timid out the gates, right? Like whether or not to pull the trigger and try and turn that pitch over. You feel like that's, you know, as the season goes on, we're only in game 4 right now, but just trying to figure out the right times to pull the trigger, try and turn that call their favor.
3-2. Rivas takes strike 3. Top of the zone. It's a punch out for Rivas. Close pitch. Nicely done. Top of the zone.
On TSN.
It's here in Seattle. Sunday Night Baseball at T-Mobile Park, the home of the Mariners since all the way back in 1999, as C.J. Kafis leads off, then Brian Rocchio and Stephen Kwan. It's 8-9-1 for Cleveland, with Rick Manning, Brian Rowland-Smith, Adam Ottavino out in the bullpen. And Rick, you had a close-up view for that comeback when it looked like Cleveland just wasn't going to lose again. And C.J. Kafis, young hitter, was a big part of that late in the year.
He was getting an opportunity, originally a first baseman, but you know, he ended up starting to play some outfield, and they got a lot of contributions from a lot of their young players that, you know, pitched in, and they just started to feed off everything. And like I said, in that month of September, they were hitting with runners with 2 outs in scoring position. The pitching was outstanding. They went to a 6-man rotation. They just had a belief, and with Stephen Vogt, it was crazy. And this guy is dealing right now.
High fastball over and over and over again for Emerson Hancock. He has 5 strikeouts this week on Peacock NBA Monday. The 76ers take on the Heat, the Bulls, and the Spurs, and the Pistons and the Thunder. Tomorrow, streaming live on Peacock, and the NBA playoffs are coming to NBC and Peacock starting April the 19th. I don't know that anybody's got a better collection of jerseys than the Mariners.
You think so?
Yeah, I love the ones that we just saw that kid wearing, the pitchfork, the blue ones.
Right. Yeah, and this is new. Every Sunday now, using the old Steelheads uniform. This used to be a one-off the last couple of years, but the fans love them. Every time they came out, just the simplicity, the Seattle across the chest. So this is every Sunday. Obviously, you've got the City Connects on Friday nights.
I like
you
the
have
teal
a full
too.
closet.
Yeah, hey, absolutely.
You get yourself.
There's a sweeper again. Adam, that sweeper has been really nice tonight.
Yeah, Ryan mentioned that it was a new pitch for him, that he you know, needed to gain confidence in it. This is a good building. Really nicely backdoor, and it's a polar opposite fastball, so it doesn't really help you hit the fastball at all. It just kind of slows you down, and the fastball will play even better after that.
When you say a pitch would help you hit the fastball, what do you mean by that?
Well, if the pitches are close together in speed or movement, then sometimes you can take the same swing and still make contact with either of them, depending on what you're looking at. But when they're polar opposites like this, both in movement and in speed, now you have to pick one or the other.
He tried to clip the outside corner there and just missed. It wouldn't have been a good challenge. And now 3-2. He buzzes a fastball in to Rocchio.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And look, it's just putting hitters away, right? So Emerson Hancock had one of the lowest strikeout rates, especially, you know, with 2 strikes. And a big reason why is just high contact percentage, because you're able to stay in on some of these pitches that look pretty much the same, just a little bit of variability right there.
It's something about the Guardians he loves. He made a start last year, June 15th, went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. They could not touch him, and he's coming off, and there is career numbers in his 2 starts. He's pitched very well.
Highly thought of. He was the 6th overall pick in 2020 out of UGA. And the last thing he wanted to do in this rotation is, in the words of Michael Stipe, stand in the place where he was.
Right, and he wants to lose that six starter label too. I've spoken to Emerson a lot about this. You are grateful for the opportunities to fill in when someone hits the IL. And that's great. But in the back of his mind, he's like, look, I know it's crowded in this rotation, one of the best, I get it. But he wants to lose that sixth starter label, and he feels like every time he's going to pitch, he's auditioning, knowing someone in Bryce Miller coming back from the IL at some point, that he's going to be the odd man out.
Keep pitching like you're pitching, and you're going to end up somewhere in a rotation.
Sure. And it's not a bad thing too. It keeps that hunger. I mean, I spent half my career, most of my career, felt like I was auditioning every time I went out to start.
You know, you're talking about the outfielders and some infielders. This is friendly competition within an organization. Tells you how good this organization is.
Sure.
That goes for both of these teams, though.
Right. I mean, you've got to compete if you want playing time. I mean, sure, you may not mind sharing, but you got to go out there and perform. And I like the competition.
Are you talking about our booth or the players on the field?
Well, we can't compete with you in the booth.
Okay.
You got us.
I set myself up for that. 1-1 for Kwan. This Mariners rotation, we saw Brian Wu earlier in this series, and some injured parties they'll get back as well.
And part of that too, every offseason, hey, the Mariners are going to give up on some of these starting pitchers to acquire that bigger offensive piece, but they've been so stingy in regards to giving up really the nucleus of what makes this team so good, and that's the pitching.
It's popped up by Kwan on the infield, and this is Donovan fading to make the catch. Cleveland hasn't gotten it out of the infield against Emerson Hancock. Balls, bases, and more at auctions.mlb.com. You can get all sorts of memorabilia there, as that's a long fly ball to the right field corner and foul. You know what you can find? You can find anything online. Any memorabilia that you could possibly dream of, you can find online. And a nice catch by a fan, by the way. You can end up with a souvenir this way as well. That's a great play.
Catch. No glove, didn't bother him. His hands aren't cold.
I mean, you get a souvenir when you're sitting in the crowd. You get a souvenir. This is from May 15th, 1981. This is from the Perfect Game, right?
Yes. Yeah. Lenny Barker's Perfect Game. Absolutely.
Look at how happy Rick Manning is. Will you put this in front of the camera, please? Just so I don't have a great reach.
Oh, it got him.
That did clip him. So Donovan gets plunked a second time. That will ruin your perfect game when you hit the leadoff.
Yes, it
batter.
will.
He got hit just about the same spot again.
Well, he's consistent. Yeah, he led off the game in the first inning.
Is this thing made out of wood or?
Yeah,
I love it.
It's Cal Raleigh, first pitch hunting. Yeah, just a very young Rick Manning. Show them close up.
It's hard to see it.
No, it's easy to see. Do a little side by side. It's nice. That is a wonderful likeness of you, Rick.
Oh, I'm glad I put makeup on today to get it done.
Rick has like 100 of these, by the way, and he just hands them out every time he does a game, which is really nice of you. Appreciate it.
What was it like catching a perfect game?
It was. I still have the baseball.
The final catch in center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you dream of. That was the 10th one thrown in baseball, in Major League Baseball at the time in '81. I still have that ball. Hey. Lenny signed it for me.
He didn't want it back?
He didn't want it.
Really?
Yeah, he did. And he said, no, you can keep it. He signed it. I said, that's pretty.
I mean, you talk about the pressure.
Well, as a defender, there's pressure when that guy, is rolling.
That's what I'm saying.
Your area. Yeah. You want to. Oh, there you go. Ernie Witt, pinch hitting.
So the ball's coming to you. Where's your mind?
Oh, I told Andy, I knew I was going to catch it, even if it was in the air. It didn't matter where it went. I was going to catch it.
1-2 to Cal Raleigh.
And that's the last no-hitter that has been thrown by a Cleveland Indian. We have the longest drought in baseball.
That is wild.
No-hitters. It is.
Yeah, with all the pitchers that have come through the
Carrasco we saw 8 2/3 last year. Gavin Williams, he was throwing against the Mets. He had it in the 9th. Corey Kluber. I mean, we've had a lot of close ones.
I like how confident you were as that ball was approaching out there in center field.
You looked like you were already celebrating. You had
I was.
You were waving
That's
everyone
right.
off, right? Yeah.
Little tapper past the mound. That's a long way to go for Manzardo, and he handles it beautifully. Ciccone gets over.
He played it well. Ciccone realized that he wasn't going to get there, so he was going to go to first base. So that he made up for it. He wanted to get it, maybe just run it over there, but nope. He sees Manzardo's there, so let him take the flip and get over to first.
So 1 down runner at second, and here is a big spot early for Julio Rodriguez, who rolled back to the pitcher Ciccone his first time. And there he slices a ball into left center field, and playable for Kwan, who runs it down. And 4 straight Gold Gloves for Stephen Kwan. He moves over to center field, and Rick, it looks like he's handling it just like you handled that final out.
He played a lot of center field in the minor leagues and in college, so he's doing this for the team because he's a 4-time Gold Glove winner in left field, and it's perfect. But when you get the guys like Kefis and everybody that you want to play on the corners, he's going to be your best bet in center field, and I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Naylor a long fly, right center. Kwan stalls out and makes the catch. Inning over. We're still scoreless.
It's away from matching a career high. The guys have been raving about the sweeper. In your eyes, how is he taking the next step?
Yeah, I tell you what, he threw pretty well for us out of the bullpen in the postseason last year. Really found his fastball, and then the sweeper has been big for him. His slider continues to evolve, and his changeup's good. So he's been pounding the zone with everything today, and that's really the key, getting ahead, getting himself into good counts.
Some close calls at the plate, no ABS challenges so far. What have you learned about your guys and how they have used the system so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to be smart about it, and it's a new thing. I think as the season goes along, we'll get a little bit more and more comfortable with it. But looking at high leverage situations and trying to flip the counts at that point, I think our catchers do a really good job of it. And as I said, we'll continue to learn as we go.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
Dan Wilson, Ahmed Fareed, and a cameo from Mariner Moose as well. 2-1 to Chase DeLauder, the powerhouse rookie who pops it up third base side. Donovan has room. Big first out for Emerson Hancock. And that time he got behind in the count, battled back, and got himself a first out.
Yeah, and it's good to hear Dan Wilson talk about the transition of the bullpen, how he pitched in the postseason, all these little things. And Rick and I were just talking in the break with Emerson. Is sometimes, look, when you are trying to make your way as a starting pitcher and you get to the big leagues, you over process a little bit, you got all this information, scouting reports, everything, you try and be perfect, right? And you use a couple examples, Carlos Carrasco for the Guardians being a good example of that. And you could see this early in this game too. The first inning, 92s, 93s out the gates, and then he all of a sudden unleashed 96, and from there he's just getting that sweeper over, got the decent changeup, but the fastball on the attack, and it's such a difference having that little bit more of that bullpen mentality for Emerson Hancock.
Adam, what do you make of that? You did both.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, actually. I was a starter my whole minor league career in a couple big league games. When you go to the bullpen, that's foul. When you go to the bullpen,
you got play-by-play in your blood too. I like it.
Jason, take an inning off.
Yeah, take a hike.
A couple things you notice when you go to the bullpen. One, you don't need to warm up as much as you think you need to when you're a starter, so you just come out there and you're ready to go right away. And also, you don't do this whole I'm going to hold pitches back and try to get deep in the game thing. I'm just going to go attack who's in front of me, and I'll worry about the next guy when he gets up there. And I think once you flip that switch and you go back into the rotation, that can really help you get off to good starts in games.
Ryan, you did the same thing. You did both.
Yeah, and look, the days in between too, right? Like, leading up, you get off to you know, you have a couple bad starts in a row, you give up a 6 spot or something, you're going to sit in those 4 days and stew in your head. And again, I was an over processor. Sometimes you played in the major league level when you're trying to, you know, break through, and it can just wear you out. You can get mentally exhausted in those days in between starts as well.
Let's be clear, you don't see Jose Ramirez strike out on a fastball up in the zone all the time. This thing is lively.
Yeah, it's lively. It was away and it was above the strike zone, so he probably helped him out there in that situation, swinging at that. But I mean, it's borderline, and you see it, and that thing had great movement going away.
Here's Manzardo, who was the second strikeout of the game, as Cal Raleigh tries to frame it. And look, framing is not gone from Major League Baseball, because if you're a very good framer, you can force teams into the bind of thinking about using their challenges early. And so far, teams have been pretty loath to challenge early in a game, so a good framer can still steal you strikes.
For sure. And you know, when the onset of this whole robo-umps and taking over from the human element, everyone was worried about the art form of framing pitches was going to go away. But this is talking about the ABS challenge too, and again, I think there's going to be so much strategy that we're going to see as this 2026 season goes along and as players get more and more comfortable with it. But the art of framing at baseball, especially now the last couple of years, getting that low strike and pulling that ball up back into the strike zone, man, it's something that hasn't been taken away.
1-2 is a sweeper that flatlined outside. 2-2. Here in Seattle, Sunday Night Baseball, our maiden voyage here on NBC on Peacock this week. We will be in Detroit coming up next week for the Cardinals and the Tigers, two very young, talented players in that game. J.J. Weatherholt, Kevin McGonigal, as that check swing from Manzardo is a no-go. 3-2. Ryan Addison with the call. Still no definition of check swing in the rule book.
I was about to say the final.
That's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, the minor leagues are going to use tech for it.
I see that
in certain levels this year.
Yes. To
sort of robo up the check swing.
Yeah, and they'll get that going, and then that'll be up here eventually.
And then we'll have all robo 1981 bobbleheads.
You're not going to be able to argue anything anymore. You can't get thrown out of a game.
You can get thrown out of a booth, though. we can still argue over it. Adam, did you ever get run from a game?
Twice in the minors, never in the majors.
You got run twice in the minors?
Yeah, I deserved it both times. But in the big leagues, I was a little too afraid of that. I would always, I wouldn't beg for much.
3-2 is right there. Strike three. No challenge. Manzardo gave him a look in your wallet. First pitch, ground ball to third, and it's Schneemann for out number one. That was the Salmon run, and now to our track announcer, Ryan Roland Smith, to tell us about the Salmon
I believe
run.
we had Soccer in first place right now. By the way, you could see him at the loathing at the back. He had the floaties on. Humpy had never won. See, we don't get a shot of Humpy. Never wins. He's like always coming in last. It's always this whole thing. However, in the postseason last year, we went extra innings. And Humpy, they end up redoing the race because the game was going for so long. Humpy came out, won the game, and lo and behold, the Mariners end up winning that game. And first win ever.
Be winning all the races.
That's right.
I would imagine part of the reason he doesn't win is he's less aerodynamic, being Humpy.
Yeah, here he is. Look at
Salmon. He also seems a little clumsy, if we're being honest. Thank you, as always, to track announcer Ryan Roland Smith,
of course, for
his expertise on the Salmon run.
That's right.
And Rick, you at home with Cleveland, you have the hot dog race.
Yeah, we had them. You remember who were we working with when they had them up in the booth?
Dallas Braden.
Yeah, Dallas was there. Yeah. He loved it.
He did. I think Dallas took one of them home, just as a keepsake.
He loved it. He was rooting for it, and then they all came up to the booth. That was about 3 years ago.
It was. I think Mustard came up to the booth.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 2-2 on Luke Raley, who has homered in 3 straight games to open the season. Back and healthy at age 31. And that's a ground ball foul. Luke Raley and Chase DeLauder are the first 2 guys who were opponents to open a season, each with 3 straight games with a home run.
Think about it. That's hard to do.
Yes.
You know, opening a season. 3 home runs, and you've got 2 guys here. And Raley, he didn't even start. One of the games came in and got it late in his last at bat.
Well, he's part of that platoon they've got going, that revolving door out there in right field. They've got Robles, Dominic Canzone, Luke Raley. It's crowded out there in right field.
Break 2 gone. Nice curveball.
Yeah, that works well off his fastball as well, that curveball, to really slow it down. He's been able to get Raley twice.
You know, we talked about the Nailers and then the Josh Naylor Bowl here. This is an interesting series for Dominic Canzone, who is a Cleveland guy from Walsh Jesuit High School. And he grew up a big Cleveland fan.
Yeah.
I mean, there are photos of him from home games, from road games, traveling to it. There you see a little Dom Canzone.
Oh, Chief Wahoo on the hat. Look at that.
Same high school, by the way, as AFC champion Mike Vrabel.
Okay. Well, those
back in the day.
Dominic has done some damage to his ball club. He likes to hit home runs. Him and Raley, who's a Northeast Ohio guy. They have done a lot of damage this year.
In the air left field. That's a long run for Kafis. He lost his hat and he couldn't catch the ball. He went into the slide a little bit early, and it's 2 bases for Canzone. That's a long way to go, Rick.
It is.
Time the slide best.
Well, you don't. You try and run your way through it. He thought he was going to have to slide and get it. He had time to take a couple more steps. You know what I mean? And he's not used to playing left field. He's played more right field. But, you know, when you go out there, that's something where left-handers, that ball's going to slice away from you. You've got to continue to stay on your feet there and try and go at it instead of going to that slide. If you got to go after it, you could dive for it.
Adam, you had a good view of that. Could you see that developing in front of you?
Yeah, he got there a little earlier than he realized. The slide came, and then he had to wait from the ball. I don't think he got any leather on that. I think that was a direct hit.
No, it was. It came right down into the ground. You're right. He didn't get any leather on it. See, it was short arm there. There it goes. So I thought he could have got there.
That might have got him in a not so fun spot.
I think looking at the replay, I think you're onto something there. Oh, this one pops high in the air right behind home, and Naylor couldn't find it, so Canzone takes third, and the Mariners are 90 feet away from the opening run.
I tell you what, you're starting to look at that second time through the lineup here against Ciccone. They're starting to zero in on the fact that he's feeling that breaking ball, starting to recognize that pitch a little bit more as well, and they're starting to corner him here. It's getting some better counts.
Pitch number 62 of his night. It's a fastball high, and Young lays off of it.
Now both these pitches too. Look, it's nothing here in the 4th inning, but that's kind of that separator. Can you, once you get to that second time, third time through the lineup, you get on the ropes like this, they start picking up some patterns. Can you come up with a different option? Go away from that curve, or maybe go to that slider, or land that fastball in a different spot.
Adam, 3-1 here. What do you like?
I like fastball up in the zone. I don't want to walk him here. We got Donovan on deck. I think you got to try to go after Young here, even with the 3-1 count.
A 3-1 from Ciccone. Here we go, and he missed up high and outside. It's ball 4, so 2 on, 2 out. And the inning continues. These bullpens, guys, both of them have been pretty well taxed in a series that's felt a little bit like a playoff series early.
As we felt going in that, you know, there's going to be a couple of guys missing from each bullpen, so you'd go a little bit longer. So he's going to have to work hard to get out of this one.
As soon as ball 4 was thrown there, we got some action, guys moving around over here, anticipating.
Right away on ball 4 there.
Yeah, the second it was ball 4, about 5 guys jumped up.
And the guys had Cantillo getting taken out in the 4th inning last night. They had to bridge the gap. Matt Fester had to cover some innings.
Yes.
It'll be tough. You know, making that transition from spring training to regular season where the games count. All of a sudden you start playing matchups. Guys are a little bit more restricted. We know, Munoz is back-to-back last couple of days.
Right, he's done.
Probably won't see him from the Mariners bullpen.
Yeah, Sacconi's got to stay aggressive and go at this guy. You're facing the number 9 here, but you got to go.
He did, and he got beat. Rivas deposits it in right, and the Mariners take the lead. Young to third. Leo Rivas, an RBI single.
Well, this is what I was talking about, that last at-bat from Cole Young. You start to recognize some patterns here from Sacconi. You see Leo Rivas recognizing that fastball a little easier, cheating a little bit, getting that head out. Now you flip that lineup over and you got Brendan Donovan and Sacconi on the ropes.
And all this after 2 outs and the base is empty, by the way. You said it in the open, that the big production, Ryan, not yet from Raleigh and Rodriguez and Naylor, but 7, 8, 9 has done some damage here for Seattle.
Yeah, and again, look, you're still that first week making that transition from spring training mode into the regular season. You're trying to get your feet wet and you're trying to establish yourself. But for guys like Cole Young, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, this is a big time for him to try and cement that position in the infield. And then Leo Rivas. Look, J.P. Crawford's on the IL. This is a chance for him to do some damage and do the little things. Get those good at-bats. Get that hit when it counts.
Here's Donovan, who's been hit by a pitch twice, and he takes a strike on the outer half. Big spot for Cleveland and their bullpen set up right now to try to maintain contact. First and third, 2 out. Came in, ball and a strike.
Yeah, big out for Sacconi right here. Get out of it. Let him get into that dugout and think about it and get a chance to come back out here again.
That's the kind of pitch he hit for a homer on opening day. Up in the zone, and he got it out of here. Donovan, a clothesline, and the Mariners lead 4-0.
When they got Brandon Donovan, we knew all about the ability to get on base, had those scrappy at-bats. But he did this the first at-bat in a Mariners uniform. Got a 3-1 pitch up in the strike zone. Hit it pretty much in that same spot. And this time doing all kinds of damage with 2 outs here in the 4th.
That's a backbreaker there with 2 outs. As you said, the first 2 guys in this inning were out, and then you've got the ball that maybe could have been caught in left field and went for a double, then a walk, a single, and the big 3-run home run turns into a big inning.
Killed a fastball with a trident. 0-1 is a swing and a miss. I mean, he said it after opening day. You get ahead in the count, you take your swing. That is the lay of the land. And when you see the home run numbers they put up, they can beat you with 1 swing. Here's Cal Raleigh, 0-2, and he swings through a curveball. Sacconi finds his way out of the inning, but Brendan Donovan, the all-star.
Thanks to Brendan Donovan breaking this game wide open, and you may have heard it, the horn sound after the home run. That is a replica of these. This is the Washington State Ferry, been around for 75 years. Mariners been around for 50 years, so they're celebrating together with this. You can upgrade your nachos, Jason, or your fries for $8. 20 million people every year, commuters, some tourists going over the Puget Sound, thanks to the Washington State Ferries. And now, thanks to them, we can enjoy some crab and some fries. Jason, we have delivered some to you. Do not feel left out. You will have one in the booth. The only one left out is Adam out there in the rain.
What's on it?
So you get crab. There's no crab on this one.
There's no crab on this one.
Yes, on that one.
So as the announcer with the shellfish allergy, you're like, Jason, we're bringing you a ferry full of crab.
What's he telling you?
Great.
You got French fries as well. So yeah, a lot of state pride with the Washington State Ferries.
That's good. That is an awesome presentation.
I love it.
Very good.
I was literally on one of these things just a couple of days ago. Heading over to Bremerton. Yeah, you drive right on. It's a nice little, you know.
Well, go ahead. We'll take care of it. You can start eating.
Well, I'm a little worried to start eating because if it does accidentally have crab on it, we're going to have a different format for Sunday Night Baseball than we expected. Usually it's 2 different animals, but it might be an EpiPen. This is the beautiful view of T-Mobile Park, and we joke around, but this is one of the great venues in all of Major League Baseball. You have the Sounders and the Seahawks right across the street where the NFL will open its season. And what a comeback there by Emerson Hancock. Strike 3 on Naylor. That is 8 punch outs, a career high for Hancock.
Wow, he looks absolutely dialed in. He's got some presence too in between some of these pitches, and it's so huge. Look, you get a 4-run lead in the 4th to come right back out and just get that first strikeout and keep that momentum and that energy in your side of the dugout.
Oh, he's made it look very easy. They haven't really squared up anything on him.
Oh, look at this.
Ahmed, go to town. What are you?
You don't need to tell me twice.
Taking some innings off. All right, watch that suit.
Yeah, suit would look even better with a Parmesan pocket square. 1-1 for Schneemann against Emerson Hancock, who is not allowed a hit in this game. He is a right-hander out of Cairo, Georgia, which is not far north of the Florida.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it hit the bag and pinged to Naylor. It might be that kind of night for Cairo's own Emerson Hancock.
Yeah, watch this ball hit the bag and just pop straight up in the air. He gets it in plenty enough time. That went straight up.
You guys both know, you were out in center field for a perfect game, and Ryan, you've been around big moments in this ballpark and beyond. On a special night, there's always a play like that.
Yeah, yes, that can happen. And the one thing, though, with the 8 strikeouts, you got to keep your eye on his pitch count, being his first start. There's only going to be so many pitches in that hose today.
Yeah, we've seen some of these Mariner pitches. You know, Brian Wu last night was taken out after 6.
Yeah,
easily going into the 7th, but again, transitioning from spring training into the regular season.
That's pitch number 80. So, you know, he may have one left in him. Especially there, you know, we talked about the bullpen. There's been a couple of guys in there that have thrown a lot of pitches in the last couple of days or in this first 3-game series.
1-2 on Arias. The only base runner for Cleveland is the Jose Ramirez walk in the first. Yep, that's it. 1-2. Wave and a miss. Man, is that a filthy sweeper, Ryan. Yikes. Game. Julio plus 700. Josh Naylor plus 800. There is a first pitch strike from Slade Ciccone. We got a cutter in to Julio Rodriguez, who's nothing for 2. What a great start for him in game 7 of that ALCS. Mariners felt like there was some momentum there. But, you know, he said it. Cal has said it. This team feels like that's the only real option, is getting back to that spot and making it to the World Series this year.
Yeah, and look, this team, it's this, I'm going to call it young, it's kind of beyond that young stage, but a core of players have been together for the last couple of years. Dan Wilson with his first full season as the manager, but I think just having that feeling in game 7, they all kind of hung out after the game, that heartbreak. has just created that motivation coming into this year. Even Brian Wu talked about it a lot. He turned down pitching in the World Baseball Classic. He wanted to make sure he was right. He had the injury right before that last start. Going into the postseason, wasn't able to start. So, this is a group of guys that, man, they're really feeling getting back to that, as opposed to some of the, the individual things they're trying to accomplish as well.
You get a taste of it, you get a smell of it, and they want to come right back and get to it. Yeah, that's. But it's such a hard grind because every year is different. The 162 is really what makes a team, they know how hard, and they go through the battles day in and day out.
Nice job by Rodriguez there to take ball 4. If you didn't see it, I don't know where you were, but here's a flashback to Game 7. Early big swings from this offense to grab a lead, but late in the night, Toronto came back and won it. Jeff Hoffman closed it out with a strikeout of Julio Rodriguez, who had the bat in his hand for the final out of that game. And it goes without saying how much motivation that can provide. That is a clean pick at shortstop for Arias, and it is out number 1. Naylor scalded that ball.
I'll tell you what, look, we talked about this in the open with Cal and Josh Naylor. Spat we saw from Julio Rodriguez laying off some of these pitches. He was cheating to that fastball, the at-bat before it. Josh Naylor now scorched a couple of balls in a row.
Well, only the 4th game of the season. Yeah. They're going to get it rolling. There's no doubt. It takes a little while, but the other cast is doing such a fine job of keeping them in the ball game, so they'll get their opportunity.
I mean, they were 1 run away from making it to their very first World Series in Mariners history. It was a 3-run 7th inning against this Seattle bullpen, which was so good in that final game against the Tigers in the division series, and really, in a lot of ways, pushed them into that LCS.
Yeah, and I mean, that series against the Blue Jays, I mean, it was epic. It went 7 games, but you had Brian Wu pitching out of the bullpen as well because he was limited coming back from injury. There's a lot of question marks as to could Munoz, pitch from the 7th inning onwards, but they were just literally outs away. Never been to a World Series. Just a couple outs away from getting there, but it was heartbreaking.
This may be a pitch to run on for Rodriguez at first. 2-2. Look for a breaking ball. Got a hot fastball.
3-2 on a Rosarena with Raley next. One of those dangerous moments in this lineup with the left-handers to follow. On 3-2, this is in the air for left center and past the dive of Kefis all the way to the wall. Rodriguez sprints around third. He will score easily, and a perfectly placed Rosarena missive into the gap makes it 5-0.
Well, Randy just missed one at bat before. He got a 3-2 count. Jumped on this hitter. Remember, he had 27 home runs, a career high last year. You know about the power. And Stephen Kwan right there, Rick. Man, you got to make sure you're behind that ball.
Yeah,
not that off.
Well, and that's one. There's nobody could get there. So he was sort of waiting that ball was going to check up, and then it got by him. And once it did that, that enabled where Rodriguez could score.
Tiny bit of hesitation by Kwan there. He looked over at Kefis for a hot second and decided not to go for it, and ended up splitting them.
There are some people for whom good enough is never good enough. They ruffle feathers, push boundaries. They are high performers, and high performers choose Sage, high performance finance software.
Randy Rosarena's RBI double has Peyton Paulette up and loosening. He was throwing before that hit, and the rookie for the Guardians is likely soon for this game as Raley stands in. And did not fire on a breaking ball. This was a scoreless draw through 3.5. Seattle picked up 4 in the 4th, 1 more here in the 5th. And Raley trying to add on. Stephen Vogt, again, as Rick was talking about, this Cade Smith, Sean Armstrong, Eric Sabrowski all go Thursday, Saturday.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to Los Angeles, right? This team's going to have to face a Dodgers team that's one of 5 3-0 teams.
Right. It's not going to get any easier. So, yes, you got to be careful here.
Get some potassium out there.
And, you know, they don't have many off days. You know, they're going to, I mean, Thursday will be their first off day. You're going to start off with a 4-game series here. You go down to L.A.
And you know it, too, coming into the game, right? You have a guy, like we talked about, Joey Cantillo, couldn't get through the 4th inning last night. Going out for this start, I know it's your first one. You want to obviously get everything in motion. But you can feel it, though, knowing the bullpen is stretched and limited out there.
Yeah.
Trying to do a little bit too much. But again, the Mariners talked about this last inning, starting to pick up and get that good look, that 60-foot visual of what they're going to face from Ciccone second, third time through. That breaking ball, the fastball starting to get some better swings off.
3-2. Second base and through. Past a diving Rocchio. Arozarena comes home. And the Mariners have a 6th spot here in the 5th. 2 this inning, 4 in the 4th, and this from Raley.
Yeah, he's continuing to impress. Again, playing for a little bit more playing time, being part of the platoon out there in right field. And they're recognizing some of these pitches. That slider has not been present at all. Only 4% on the sliders in the curveball fastball.
Just want to know who he's talking to off screen, who's going to provide the tickets. The Mariners have pounded out a couple of hits. Walk and bat for Seattle up 6-love. Still no hits on the board for Cleveland, and the rookie Peyton Pallette, who came over in the Rule 5 draft from the White Sox in the offseason and making this team as he would need to out of the Rule 5, right?
Yeah. Getting the opportunity. Went 2 innings in his first outing. And they're going to need some length from him right now if they could get it. So be aggressive.
I mean, you think about how this game changed for Ciccone on the one swing from Dom Canzone on the ball that C.J. Kayfus slid, couldn't make the catch. That was a catalyst for all of this.
Yeah, it sure was. There was 2 out, nobody on, and that ball was, and it was a very tough play to try and make as an outfielder. But it was not made, and then the walk after that to Young, and then Rivas got the big hit to get it rolling, and it didn't stop. Then the big three-run homer from Donovan.
That just buzzed out of here over that yellow line. Oh no, Bo Naylor got the worst of that puppy.
Yeah, this is why you don't want to be a catcher. Direct hit right into the mask is almost like getting punched right in the jaw.
Here's a look from umpire cam. Wow. Any of you guys ever catch?
No.
Little League?
A little bit, yeah.
You got a smile on your face. Yeah. Why?
Left-handed catcher.
Why does the hyphen have a smile on his face? There goes the runner. Raley is going to end up there because that ball clipped Canzone. So 2 on, 1 out. Raley's like, I want my stolen base, please.
Well, he would have had one, but you can see that little breaking ball came down and it bounced and got him in the leg.
You see the smile on Raley's face? I think he wanted his bag.
One of the stolen base.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, I was smiling because one of the most heartbreaking days I've ever experienced.
This will likely be caught.
Being a young 12-year-old down in Australia and finding out that left-handers do not catch.
You're not allowed to catch.
Some expert. I was blown away. I was like, hold on, what are you talking about? And they explained it all to me, and I was in tears. I remember because I wanted to catch, man.
Did you ever see a left-handed catcher's glove?
I did. I had one. I don't know where I got this thing from, but I had one, and I was behind the dish, could throw runners out. But oh yeah, some know-it-all, some baseball expert
tried to tell you left-handers aren't allowed to
get out of there. Yeah,
how'd you find out?
I couldn't believe it.
Who told you?
It was a dad of one of the kids I was playing with. You know, like around that. Look, you got to remember too. In my circles growing up, baseball wasn't that prevalent. You didn't get that much access to Major League Baseball, especially back in the day, right? The kids all have, you know, they can access it anywhere on the internet now, whatever they want. But highlight reels, whatever. You know, I had VHS tapes. And
you literally had a video cassette recorder tapes?
Yeah, oh my man, I'm telling you, Pat Borders from the Blue Jays, that was my guy. I love the Blue Jays.
Pat Borders, yes indeed.
I wanted to be a catcher back in the day, and yeah, I think it was a dad of one of the kids came and said, hey dude, you're left-handed, they don't catch. I'll tell you why, and he just broke it down. And I was like, oh.
What did he tell you?
Heartbreaking.
You're not allowed because you can't throw to first.
Yeah, because you can't. That's right. Yeah.
Terry Francona was a left-handed third baseman.
If he's out there right now, just know this: one of the most heartbreaking days of my life. Terry.
Mike Spires played with the White Sox behind the dish. He was a catcher for him.
See, you needed this background. I would have gone with Southern Hemisphere. It's different.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But anyway, I didn't want to open up a whole can of worms there on Sunday Night Baseball, but yeah, I remember it vividly.
That broke your heart, yeah.
You did, yeah. Everyone in this booth broke my heart bringing that up.
What did you do the rest of the day? We're not going to find out. We don't have time.
We're done.
Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. 6-0.
And hoodies. We've got the season covered. Scan the QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear.
I love that. Good job.
It was wonderful. It's a 10 out of 10. And look, even though you couldn't catch, you can read promos. We're here to expand horizons, not shrink them on Sunday Night Baseball.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it, guys.
You said hoodies right when our director, Corey Numi, was showing hoodies. That's synergy.
That's right.
Emerson Hancock has been just phenomenal as Jose Ferrer is up in the Seattle bullpen. And you guys mentioned it early in the season. Yes, no hits for Cleveland, but his longevity in this year is paramount.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, they haven't been able to catch up to anything. They've been pitching him upstairs all series long, and this guy has really done a whale of a job. You can see just 4 ground outs, no fly ball outs, and 9 punch outs. 87. This will be the 88th pitch.
2-2. He's got 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. Yeah, 2 pop outs, both to third base, 1 in foul territory. 2-2 for Kafis. On the ground and foul, first base side. Adam, what's he done so well from your vantage point tonight, Hancock?
It's the utilization of this 4-seam. I really didn't know he had this in his game. This is a total departure from who he was previously. He was more of a sinker pitcher, contact guy, and now he's getting tons of swing and miss. The 4-seam's playing up in the zone crazy. They haven't been on it the whole day. So he's riding it, and it's working.
Again, just the punch outs too, career highs. I mean, the fact that, like I said, the strikeout rate was 34% with 2 strikes. That was the 13th lowest for Major League starting pitchers last year. And that hitter at the top of the zone, that's been the separator, I think.
To Adam's point, basically 1 out of every 4 pitches last year was a 4-seam fastball. He threw that sinker about 2 out of every 5 pitches.
Okay.
We've seen a total flip tonight. 53% 4-seamer. And that does clip the elbow of Kafis. And by the way, for the uninitiated, the 4-seam fastball is a straighter fastball. But we're watching these strikeouts, Ryan, 9 of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them look similar.
Yeah, they do. Everything at the top of the strike zone. The velocity's been good when he's needed it. Look, you do see a couple 92s, 93s. But with it, when he gets the 2 strikes, he empties the tank a little bit more. And again, just to go along with that sweeper as well, he's got a good mound presence. But this is going to be interesting. Look, there's a long layoff. Remember, coming out of spring training, it's the up and down besides the amount of pitches. But I'm talking about up and down in regards to innings, sitting down, getting back up on a cold night.
Well, he has shed about 3 miles an hour on velocity over the course of this game, so he's coming to the end of his rope.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd like to see him get through this inning if they could.
You have those lefties coming. You have Kwan and DeLauder, and Ferrer is up. I wonder if he were to get a double play ball, if you'd let him face Kwan.
Why not? You've got a 6-run lead if you want to push him. There's
right at first base.
Ball.
That's Naylor. Return pass is there.
You're going to find out now, aren't you, if he's going to keep him in.
Absolutely.
Well, we saw this last night too, where they had to make a decision to bring Gabe Spire in. But just what the doctor ordered. Look at this. Naylor made double play for Josh Naylor. Right back to the base.
Yeah.
Not to mention
easy double play.
Yeah, not to mention too, the top of the lineup coming up. You've got Stephen Kwan, so tough to put away. Obviously chased a lot of red hot, and of course Jose Ramirez behind him. Now you got that with 2 outs here in the 6th.
And he's earned every right to stay in the game and finish this inning.
100%.
See Dan Wilson's face over there. Fortune just smiled on him and Hancock. That would have been a really tough decision to make if it's 1 on, 1 out.
Yeah, and again, going back to last night. You had a lefty coming up. There was, you know, do you leave Brizado in the game? When you bring in Gabe Spire, it did burn them. They couldn't get the out. But now all of a sudden, this is much easier to deal with here in the 6th.
All for naught.
That's 6 innings without a hit for Cleveland. Could be one of those nights. We'll find out. Something that is very rare to make Seattle a city with a Super Bowl and a World Series in the same year. Who says the Jets and Mets can't have nice things? 1969 was wonderful. Pittsburgh in '79, the Steelers and those great Pirates jerseys. 2004, Boston with Tom Brady and that Red Sox team. And that's all she wrote. I mean, this is a hub of sports activity now, and that's how close these 2 stadiums are.
Right. Yeah, it's a good time to be, you know, a sports fan here in Seattle, especially with this run. You feel like these Mariners are about to go on. Perfect timing. And not to mention, too, Jason, the talk of the Sonics potentially coming back.
Yeah.
That's exciting news. Yeah.
Are you trying to impact NBA expansion via Sunday Night Baseball?
I'm staying right.
I love this. Any other cities that you'd like to get a franchise?
Gonna go? Yeah, Vegas. Anywhere else?
Mean.
Well, I remember I was here. I remember getting called up, and that's when the Sonics were leaving Seattle right around that time, and it was pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah, they had a good franchise here.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a great sports city.
Yeah, they've redone Key Arena. Obviously, the Kraken in there. It's beautiful in that building now. It'll be exciting to see the Sonics come back.
You got called up, you pitched here, and then you became a member of the Chamber of Commerce. All in a day's work.
That's right.
2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Donovan.
I like him in the leadoff spot on this ball club. Last year they had Arena who swings through too many pitches. This guy's a typical leadoff hitter. Even if he'll put you up a quality at bat and see 5, 6, 7 pitches.
And he can do that right there.
Yeah, and turn on it.
Yeah.
And not only play third, he can play second. He can play the outfield. You can use him anywhere.
You mentioned that too. When they got Josh Naylor and Gino Suarez from the trade those last couple of months, the question was, okay, who's going to lead off? And Randy was, you know, really the only option. And he struggled in that leadoff spot. He really did. Hit 215 out of the leadoff spot.
Man, that's another rope to the pull side.
He is a solid player. And, you know, before they got him, there were a lot of teams that wanted to pick that guy up and get him from St. Louis. And you're going to see a nice, short, compact swing right there. So he's had a very good series.
I like the way Kevin Seitzer put it, the hitting coach. He said he's a, quote, stinking pro.
Yeah.
That is just the type of, like, even tone that you use for a guy like Donovan. Hey! And with the Cardinals doing what they're doing this year, going so young, there's not as much value there as he has here in Seattle.
And he's got the bloodlines there, and you know yeah, they're going to love him here in Seattle.
Check swing. That ball gets away from Naylor, and Donovan's going to take second base.
That's a good time right here for Cal Raleigh to get something good to hit. Just something to feel good about, so he can take a breath. Finishing up this first series of the year, up 6-0. You got a rookie on the mound. Just get a mistake, get something you can drive into a gap.
I'd like to see him just try and stay on the ball and go the other way. You know, to shorten his swing and get something going. You know, to readjust your field. It seems like after you come off a 60 home run season, you may want to try and pull something and hit a lot of home runs. And he's been scuffling and swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. So shorten it up. Use the big part of the field. Oh,
yeah, high fly ball left field again. A long run for Kafis. That ball is fair.
Double.
It's going to be 2 bases. It hit a fan. Man, you talk about great aim. That's a parachute down the line for Cal Raleigh. He just, you might say, dumped it in.
Nice. I love it.
You've been waiting to use that. You wrote that down, didn't you?
No.
It's
all the trajectory. That's it.
That's a long way to go. He was not going to get there. It hits in fair territory. There's Sneeman playing third.
Well, he got that base hit up the middle off the handle last night. A little smirk into the dugout. And again, we're talking about feeling good about it. You know what? You'll take them all day long. Get a little RBI double. You'll figure it out. Get that power stroke at some point. I tell you what, this man right here, Julio Rodriguez, is so close. Talked about this the last couple of at-bats. He's going to get something middle and drive something.
You know, Julio's 25, but he's been under the microscope for so long, and it's been sort of uneven seasons, like hot month, cold month. Ryan, for a national audience, what have you seen from him that suggests breakout even more so or otherwise?
Well, I think the last couple of years especially, and even going back to 2024, I think there was a lot of voices and a lot of people trying to have their input on Julio Rodriguez. And when Dan Wilson took over in 2024, late 2024, he brought Edgar Martinez back into the fold, right? And I think just even Edgar having that effect on Julio in the cage and just trying to come up with some simplicity and let his athleticism shine through. And you mentioned some of the hot and cold months, Jason, even last year too. I go back actually to a series right before the break against you guys in Detroit. I think he took Tarek Skubal deep, and one of the things Kevin Seitzer said to him, hey, look, be ready for that fastball and just get that head out a little bit. Everything was sort of right center field, and that's kind of his MO, right? To hit to inside out that ball with power to right center field. But it's like, look, if you see something spin in the middle of the plate, just cheat, just get that head out, just try and drive that ball into left field. Don't try and think so much or have this perfect approach. And I think when his athleticism takes over, good things happen.
Adam, I want to ask you, I know you kind of deflected, you want to talk about yourself in the pregame and Julio. He was 0 for 3 against you, and I do wonder how you approached an at-bat with him.
I approach him the same way I approach every righty the first few times I face them. I just start him with sweepers and finish him with fastballs. I want to slow him down.
This to left is out number 1.
Yeah, I always just like to slow guys down and, make them kind of hone in on that slow sweeper, so my fastball looked a lot faster after that. That was kind of the basic strategy.
Got him there on the line drive to left. Hey, MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. You know what else has you covered all season long? The blankets that get delivered to the bullpen.
It's got you covered.
This one's clutch.
How are you doing out there? It is very cold. We're joking, but how are you out there?
I'm good now. I'm a little numb now, so I think that's better than cold. Numb is better than cold.
See, that's the way to do it right there, that blanket. That looks very warm. And there is Adam enjoying his perch. It's popped up back of second, and Arias waves for it. He'll make the catch, and there are 2 away. Andy Rosarena, you have an umbrella too. It's very nice. Hi, Adam. How are you enjoying your time with us? You got to do the opening day, the Pirates and Mets. How are you taking to TV?
It's great. I'm having a blast. I needed to find a reason to be at the ballpark, so this works just fine.
And they put you right in your environment, right out of the bullpen.
Yeah, totally. I can feel the anxious energy though from some of the guys down here, and I'm glad that I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Describe that feeling.
Well, when the game trends your direction, you know, those butterflies start up. It's a little different than being a starting pitcher. You don't know for sure you're going to pitch when you show up to the ballpark, but when you feel it go in your direction, you know, those feelings, they start to naturally form, and you know, you see guys move around. Maybe they go to the bathroom a few times. And yeah, it's just, you never really get comfortable doing that. It's just part of the process. You got to get into the right mindset to go compete.
You know, it's funny, Jason, a couple of years ago I was doing this job, and my mum flew all the way from Australia, and she goes, oh, this is so nice, because she loves baseball. She goes, this is so much better than when you were playing. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, oh, I don't have to stress out about it. You get DFA'd, sent down. I can just enjoy the game. I'm like, hold on a second. Like, was I that bad?
She used the term DFA.
She did, yeah.
So that's when you know there have been some ups and downs.
Yes.
When the family knows designated for assignment shorthand. That is ridiculous, actually. That's all four.
So thanks, Mom. Appreciate that.
Where'd you learn DFA, Mom?
How long of a flight is it from Australia to Seattle?
Well, Sydney to LA or San Fran's 14 hours, and then wherever you have to get to the States. So for Seattle, it's what, another 2.5? So it's a trek.
Okay.
Plenty of jet lag. Don't worry about that.
You're watching Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock, presented by Capital One. We are so glad you could join us with Rick Manning, with Ryan Rowland-Smith, Adam Ottavino, our entire marvelous crew, our producer Matt Borzello, our director Corey Newmy. We have a ferry boat of chicken fingers up in the booth. We are all loaded up here tonight for our debut of Sunday Night Baseball. It's here on Peacock, and we'll be with you throughout the regular season and into the wild card round for baseball back on NBC. We're so glad to be a part of it. 2-0 to Raley, and that was certainly an A swing to try to get himself a 4th straight game with a home run.
You work for those counts as a hitter. Get to the 2-0, 3-1 counts and look for the fastball and let it go.
Two-one coming. That's in the air, shallow left field. Kafis has gotten his steps in today, that's for sure. Mariners get back on /MLB. Yep, that's exactly how these booths work. The play-by-play announcer takes video while the players actually do stuff.
I nearly blew my elbow out.
Yeah, you guys were firing. Those were hot dogs attached to parachutes.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Do those have parachutes? Those hot dogs?
I don't think so.
Yeah. New pitcher for Seattle. It's Cooper Criswell, who comes on with no hits still on the board for the Cleveland Guardians because of an absolute jewel from Emerson Hancock.
Oh my goodness. He cannot throw the ball any better than he did tonight. He was awesome.
That's line to right, and it's the first hit for Cleveland tonight. It comes against the reliever Cooper Criswell. And that is all for a possible 7th no-hitter in Mariners history. It's DeLauder, of course, who breaks it up.
Yeah, that ball looked like down in his zone. He threw a nice swing on that pitch.
And people are going to ask about a no-hitter and about bringing in the bullpen. But in the current state of the game of baseball, and especially coming off of spring training, this being a first start, I would imagine every team is making that decision that Dan Wilson just made.
100%. I mean, even the fact that through 97 pitches is still pushing it a little bit to the brink in regards to coming out of the gates from spring training. Usually they try and cut him down to 85 pitches, maybe going 5 and dive. But able to get through 6, 97. And not to mention, too, look, you got Bryce Miller on the IL. You got Emerson Hancock. And if he looks a little bit like this, even 80% of what he looked like tonight, man, he's in good shape. They're going to try and push it through those last couple of innings. But happy for Emerson Hancock in this situation. Again, you feel like he's always auditioning every time he's out there, trying to stay in that rotation.
Adam, you've come in out of the bullpen in big spots. You've come in situations that are similar. As there's a ground ball, and we may not get to have that conversation. It's a double play. It's Rivas to Naylor, and the inning is over. Stretch time. That was just a taste of our new Sunday Night Baseball Open, starring the multi-platinum Grammy Award-winning Zac Brown Band. The full Open debuts on April the 12th when these very same Guardians take on the Atlanta Braves. Set up our first pitch every Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. Some marvelous matchups on the way, including an Angels team that's come out of the chute hot. Cleveland in a couple of weeks against the Atlanta Braves, but tonight just one hit for Cleveland. It has been all Mariner Moose here in the Pacific Northwest as the phones are out and the light show begins with Colin Holderman, the 30-year-old right-hander, out of the bullpen. You see what he did last year with Pittsburgh. But this Cleveland bullpen had the 3rd best relief corps ERA in all of Major League Baseball last year. It was such a weapon. Without Hunter Gaddis to start this year with the forearm strain, that certainly is a tax on this bullpen, but there are still weapons.
Oh, yeah. They had to go out and sign a couple of bullpen guys to come in here and take advantage of that situation, but I think Gaddis is doing pretty well down there now. He's starting to throw and possibly get back, and you can't rush him for his, the last couple of years. He's had as many appearances as about any reliever in the game.
And we saw it off the first couple innings in the show here tonight. This Guardians staff has seen the bullpen throw just about as many innings as the starters to open this year. I mean,
yeah, I think they were 1/3 of an inning away. I mean, between 13 and 2/3 and 13 and a third.
I mean, Ryan, you understand. You did both. You know the feeling. The one thing that everybody else doesn't know the feeling that is, though, being the first hyphenated last name.
Here we go. Yeah.
To play in Major League Baseball. Yeah. People should know that the very first hyphenated last name in Major League Baseball is sitting in between Rick and I here tonight.
I mean, you guys must feel blessed, right? I mean, you must be.
I didn't know that until Jason told me today.
No, it's a big honor.
I remember when I first got called up, and
that's well hit by Canzone, center field, and one away.
I was essentially just a nobody. I wasn't some big prospect coming up, breaking through. Everyone was highly anticipated.
So here's your company, right? So D. Strange Gordon shows up, Austin Bivens Dirks, who had the benefit of the X at the end of his name. But the first player with a hyphenated first name was back in 1884. Peekaboo Veach.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
I just learned something.
Your last name isn't a game, right?
That's right.
His first name was.
Well, put it this way. So I get called up. I'm out there at batting practice. Come in. One of the people from the from PR, from the Mariners, came running up to me and said, "Hey, do you realize you're going to make history the first time you pitch?" And I was like, kind of a shy 24-year-old, trying to just keep to my own business. He goes, "You're going to be the first hyphenated name in the big leagues." I'm like, "So?" Like, what? Like, just let me go and get a strikeout or something first. Like, and they're making such a big deal about it, because that's what they do, right? You're trying to find something on you, and I really sort of pushed to the side. But then I started having some fun with it, as I got more comfortable here in the big leagues. But it's kind of Kind of strange. I mean, first ever. I thought that surely someone before me. But I didn't realize there was a peekaboo in there.
Walk-up music or anything from when you played, when you came up?
They did. Yeah, they did. The Mariners did a good job, always having some good music. But they have little hyphens out there on the scoreboard. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's out number 2. More after this.
What do you got for me this year?
You're gonna love this.
I don't get it.
Ryan Roland Smith.
Yeah?
Roland-Smith. It's a hyphen. You're the hyphen.
You're unbelievable, mate.
Come on. Ever see what I did for Bartolo Colon? Ryan.
So that was a Mariners commercial that you starred in back in the day.
That's right. Yeah. See, that was around the time I was like, oh, no. Let's just not talk about the hyphen. Let me put some numbers up. Let me have a good year first. But, yeah, they played it up. It was fun. Yeah. The Mariners do it great, by the way. If you ever get a chance, go YouTube or whatever you got to do their commercials. Every year they come out with some really good ones.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal parodies.
Oh,
yeah, great job. The Bartolo Colon line is legitimately funny.
That was good.
By the way, Angel Martinez, if you know, he came into center field just getting Stephen Kwan off his feet, you'd imagine here. And by the way, to be clear, Peekaboo Veach's real name was William Walter Veach. Yours isn't an alias. That's your real last name. 1-2 on Rivas, who had a big RBI single in the 4-run fourth. He pushed it along for Donovan, whose 3-run homer blew the doors off the game as that ends up at third. It's the view from behind the plate as Schneemann handles the final out. We're going to dash the break. Unanimous, Reggie Dinkins is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe are a match made in comedy heaven. The fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins, new tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. Not many funnier people than Tracy Morgan. Clearly big 30 Rock fans here in the booth. There's a ground ball foul, first base side. Hold your applause.
For a response.
Adam, do you watch television? Because these two seem to have never seen a television show in their lives.
Yeah, what's wrong with these guys?
Right? Tracy Morgan's hilarious.
I left you hanging. No, he is very funny. No,
that's all you had to say.
I'm not kidding.
One of you.
I was making sure I was looking to see who was pitching. I'm like, do we have a new pitcher? I was scrambling. I was trying to get back in game mode, but I left you hanging.
Okay. All right. We got 3 analysts and nobody said anything.
They didn't respond.
Great. We have more analysts than Naked Gun did. And nobody said anything. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is the view from the outside looking in at pop culture references here at T-Mobile Park. It's very difficult to see through sometimes.
Yeah, we didn't get that show in Australia, so didn't make it all the way.
Yeah, you've seen the whole run of Bluey, though, of course.
That's right. That's right.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Naylor. And that's a ground ball foul at first base. This could very well be a playoff matchup. You know, you never know how the schedule is going to shake out or what the American League is going to look like. But these are 2 teams that very much are inside track type of teams to get to the postseason again.
Well, I know the expectations are going to be here, you know, for them to go and get into the playoffs and actually win this division, you know, because they've had Houston deal with that they've been fighting for so long that they got a really good chance.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you win the American League West for the first time since 2001, they unveiled that banner out there in right field.
Right.
I mean, just again, the expectations, even opening day here, they do such a good job here at T-Mobile Park on opening day to celebrate baseball and the rest of it. But something simply felt different this year for me, you know, having a chance to do this as a broadcaster and as a player. But yeah, especially, we've already talked about Game 7 last year, but there is a different feeling like this team's on a mission to get back to, if not to, the first World Series.
I'm sure the expectations are too from the fans.
They've only, as a franchise, been to the playoffs back-to-back years once, as that is strike 3. Naylor goes down. He couldn't check it up, and there's 1 away, and a 10-pitch sequence. But you saw the standings pop up. These were the 2 best records in the American League outside of the American League East, which looks stacked again. The Yankees and Blue Jays both swept their opening series.
Right.
That's going to be quite the race, and it feels like Baltimore is better.
Well,
this year
they've made some moves. They went out and signed some people, some free agents, and they've always had that good. We've got a lot of young players there, and they're waiting for them to hit their stride. It all comes down to pitching and how healthy can you stay as a team.
That's right, and what kind of depth you have. That's Craig Albernaz now, who is the bench coach and the best friend of Stephen Vogt.
Yep.
As this is floated to left and a base hit for Schneemann. More after this.
Ride the Baja Wave and refresh your senses with a blast of tropical lime flavor. Grab a Mountain Dew Baja Blast today. Do the dew.
Looks warm there.
I'm still waiting for the hot chocolate. Ottavino is already on his 4th. We're up here stranded with no hot chocolate.
Adam, how is the hot chocolate here at the ballpark? We wouldn't know.
It's pretty good, but it's cold now. It's cold now. I didn't get it all while it was warm, and now I think I have to use the bathroom, so I'm just going to wait it out.
I love that you were mulling over sharing there.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm not shy with that stuff.
No, it's great. If folks don't know the story of Adam Ottavino, and I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but like, you built a storefront essentially into a pitching lab in New York and trained yourself basically in the art of pitching in the contemporary era. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, I was in a pickle. My training situation at home had kind of fallen apart coming out of 2017. And I knew I needed a different situation, so we kind of made our own situation. Got a storefront in Harlem, put all the new toys in there, started working on new pitches, new approaches. It was a place I could go any time of day and train, and that was really the key, just having free reign over some place I could go and work on my skills.
So, Adam, what kind of tech are we talking in there? You got the TrackMan, you got the Edgertronics. What do we got?
Yeah, both of those. I had a Rapsodo before the TrackMan, but yeah, Edgertronic, TrackMan. I had all my weight equipment in there. I had a target that I would throw at a lot when I was alone, which really helped me with my command. I felt like kept me honest. Sometimes you throw to a glove and they move it, and you still think you made a good pitch, but the target doesn't move. So it kept me honest out there, and it was a blessing.
How often did you go there?
The first 2 off seasons, I was there 6-7 days a week, really. I lived in that place. It was a matter of finding the right time. I had my first child. She was my daughter. She was pretty young at the time, so I was with her all day long. So I was either going in the mornings or the night, but I would get in there almost every day and chip away at it.
3-2 here, and that is in for strike 3. And we are going to have our first challenge of the night. Let's see if it's a strikeout or a walk. Arias went right to it. And here comes strike 3.
Bad design.
Guardians have 1 count remaining.
ABS challenge system powered by T-Mobile. And you can make your mark and become a legend in MLB The Show 26. Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch, rated E for everyone. Big show guy, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I have been, especially when I was playing, on the road. So I love playing the show. I've been told that my card is a little bit overpowered, or OP, as the kids would say. So that's a point of pride, even though it's not really me. It's digital me, but I'll take it.
So you're a little bit like a cheat code version of you?
Yeah, apparently they're a little generous with the velocity and all that stuff. So
what are you throwing in the show? How hot does it get?
I mean, even my card from this year from Team Italy, it had me throwing 95-96, which is a far cry from reality, I'll tell you that.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Who do you know at the show that you greased up a little bit to get it up to 95, 96?
I really don't know. I don't know. There must be some Ottavino admirers over there at the San Diego studio. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you what, though, the kids, man, they'll drop some names. I'll talk to them, hey, who are your favorite players? And they'll drop a name. Well, how do you know about them? And it's all MLB The Show. And then they talk about the card and all this stuff. I've got no idea what they're talking about.
Ooh, that sweeper was a tester, and that's going to be a challenge from Cal Raleigh. That was a ridiculous shape on that pitch. Let's see if it crossed, and you wouldn't blame the plate umpire Wills for missing it. Yeah, he did. Adam, how about that pitch?
That was a uphill sweeper. That thing rose and went to the left.
Up and to the left.
Look at that.
Want to pick their biggest headline, the ABS challenge system for Ryan. Height doesn't matter for Adam Ottavino out there, the rookie renaissance, and then Dom Smith's walk-off slam. Let's start with the ABS challenge system and what we've seen so far from it. Ryan, what stands out to you?
Yeah, just I think league-wide. I think everyone's, first of all, there's an adjustment period inside the game, even from a fan perspective. You go on social media, you see all the reaction to it. We saw Gino Suarez turn 2 pitches against CB Buckner, just a couple of days ago. We've seen it have an impact on the game. I just feel like, for me, we've seen all these rule changes of late, and they've all been really positive, right? This is something Major League Baseball does such a good job researching and taking their time to figure out if this is the right decision for the game. And ABS, it's been essentially a long time coming how they're going to implement this, but I just think it's going to have a big impact on the game as the season goes along. But this is something everyone is talking about right now and trying to adjust to it.
And you're going to see the bulk of the challenges from the catchers because they are in the best spot. They got a better sight view than the umpires. And then the hitters will do it, and then they're going to have to find out a way how they want to go about it. But you want to save one, as we said, for the late in the ball game in case the game's on the line then.
And to be clear, everybody's strike zone is going to be the same percentage of their height.
Right.
Which leads us to Adam Ottavino, who has been intrigued by the smaller guys in Major League Baseball this week. What do you have?
Yeah, it might not help you with the dating scene, guys, but I think as position players, being shorter might look to start to become a little bit of an advantage. You got a little smaller strike zone. Shorter guys are generally used to getting pitched at the top of the zone a lot, so they're not intimidated by the velocity of today's pitchers. And if you can throw a little thump into your swing like McGonigal can from the Tigers, in addition to being small, then I don't really know how you pitch a guy like that.
Well, it gives everybody hope, right?
Yeah. Hey, yes.
It's one of the beautiful things about our game. You can be any shape or size and get the job done.
It's a great point. And Kevin McGonigal, you mentioned 4 hits on opening day for the Tigers. And Rick, it stood out to you, all of the rookies this first couple of days in Major League Baseball. They've been so impressive.
Well, they really are. And you know what? They're not intimidated anymore like it used to be when you get called up to the big leagues. You were never welcome back then. You had to earn it to get up there. Now these kids are in spring training. You bring 60-some guys to camp. I mean, they're familiar with everything and the big league atmosphere and everything that goes on, so they're not intimidated, and they just come up right now. And I like to see the younger guys come up and give them an opportunity. You used to see some guys 20 years old get up to the big leagues, but now they're 24, 25 out of college. I like to see some of the younger guys.
Yeah, I think too on that, front office is a little bit more transparent in regards to how they feel or how they evaluate players, and more public about it. I remember back in the day, half the time you weren't quite sure what the front office, how they perceived you. Now all of a sudden with some of these young prospects coming up, I mean, everything is so available online with all this information. They come up, and you're right too, there's not that intimidation factor of the major leagues, but they're coming up way faster these days and way less at-bats to get here. We talked about that with Chase the Lottery, for example. Way less at-bats to what it takes. Right. We talked to Dan Wilson about that. Yep. They get up here way faster.
They have to have about 1,000 at-bats in the minor leagues before you'd get called up.
Well, I mean, you felt somewhat different, I have to imagine, Rick, when you made it to the big leagues, because as there's a ground ball to second base, you weren't an outfielder until you got into Major League Baseball.
Well, I signed as a shortstop, and then they moved me in the minor leagues to the outfield, and then I started playing it for the first time ever. But when I got to the big leagues, I was a left and right fielder until my first year, when Frank Robinson asked me to play center field at the All-Star break.
Yeah, but you need some seasoning. It's getting less and less. And for me, the best personal story of the week came yesterday in that Atlanta-Kansas City series. Atlanta ends up winning 6-2 yesterday. They won their first 2 games. But Dom Smith, with a new team, he lost his mom just less than 2 weeks prior to last night, and he delivered a walk-off grand slam. And you know, whatever you believe in, that kind of moment, as that's bobbled and dropped, so the inning's going to continue. You know, whatever you believe in, there are always moments in a baseball season where you go, somebody else is moving the pieces around, right? There's free will, but somebody else is moving the pieces for something like that to happen. Long battle with cancer for Dom Smith's mom, Yvette, and he hits a walk-off grand slam, game 2 of the season.
It's very special.
I mean, you think about the Michael Lorenzen home run, you know, way back after his loss, and those times in this game make this such a magical, beautiful game to watch. I know all 3 of you have had your lives made in some ways by the game of baseball, and it is just this special touchstone for humanity, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this game's given me everything for sure. I mean, there's been so many moments like that. It's just, again, where it's a situation where, you know, someone finds closure in that big moment. Or, you know, I remember when D. Gordon hit that home run. Jose Fernandez passed away with the Marlins, and D. Gordon hit that big home run, and how emotional he was going around the bases. It was a special moment.
Yeah, you spend any time in this ball game, and you love it. It's addicting. It is your whole life, and you got to try and give back as much as you can, as what you've you know, you pay back what you were given.
3-0 to Naylor. That misses outside from Holderman. So the E4 leads to a walk, and the Mariners have 2 on with 2 out. And this is kind of how that big 4th inning went. It was 2 out, bases clear. Canzone double that he plopped in front of a Kefis slide in left. Then Young walked and Rivas singled. And then the Donovan home run flipped this game. Yeah,
and I think, too, you know, as we talk about the middle of this Mariners lineup, look, you can get antsy. You talked about this with Julio Rodriguez being a little jumpy, trying to do too much.
This is through the left side. It's a base hit for Arozarena, and here comes run number 8 for Seattle.
And again, just some of that good momentum going in as they close out this series against the Guardians, but going into that Yankees series, who they got coming tomorrow. Again, the middle of this line, Randy Arozarena starting to find that stroke in that 5-hole. But even the at-bat before that, Josh Naylor, look, you were a little antsy. You're starting to feel like you're starting to get your timing down, but able still just to take a breath, lay off some of those pitches, keep the line moving. And this is what you do. You put that pitch on the ropes, keep adding on.
You know what? For playoff positioning, too, with there being no more game 163, this could end up being an important win for Seattle. Instead of going down 3-1 in the season series, where you'd be required to then sweep the next time they see each other, you give yourself a chance. And we know with how condensed the standings can get late in the year now with the 6 playoff spots, this could be an important game. You never know. You never know.
Every bit important in April as it is in September.
0-2 is strike 3, and he soared for Holderman, and the inning is over. Seattle trying to close it. Next 9 strikeouts, and the Mariners will try and close this out. We are so glad that you joined us for Sunday Night Baseball here tonight with Rick Manning and Ryan Rowland-Smith and Adam Ottavino, as here's a fly ball to left. The Berkeley Carroll School, LaSalle High School, Newcastle High School represented.
Jason, you're a pro, let me tell you.
Anybody want to go back to their high school days and reminisce? we got 2 outs here. Angel Martinez stands in. He came in for Stephen Kwan. Yeah, you said it last half inning about how special baseball can be, but the joy of sitting down with somebody who knows the game, and you never know, you know, in Cooperstown, which I know you've never been to, Rick. You don't go visit, even though you're from up there.
You're right.
You've still
I've never been there.
It's been 4 years since we last talked about it. You haven't been. But you talk to anybody about baseball who knows the game, and you never know when you pair a couple of people where the conversation is going to go. And that is just the absolute joy of getting to sit in this chair, is you never know where a baseball conversation is going to go. And so just thanks to all of you for being such willing participants, such fun people, such left-handed catchers.
See, that was great.
I threw someone under the bus too. Someone's dad I threw under the bus about ripping the dreams out of out of my hands in regards to.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I would have let you catch on my team.
Thank
you. You would have been the number one catcher.
That's what they all say when they're recruiting you. But then you make it to the team, and it's like,
that's right.
Get a little better.
I think it'd be great, a left-handed catcher.
Adam, would you throw to a left-handed catcher?
Oh, I definitely would. I used to play catch with a couple different coaches that were left-handed with the left-handed catcher's mitt. I never had a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like reimagining Ryan's career on the fly here. What might have been.
Yeah, you're unlocking
He
memories.
looks like a great catcher. He could be a good catcher.
It's a swing and a miss, and off with his head. Martinez strikes out. Cooper Criswell has the second out of the 9th inning. Gave him the old Henry VIII.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is just what the doctor ordered for the Mariners, huh? They only used 2 pitchers today.
Yeah.
Get all set up for this Yankee series.
Yeah, you got a big series coming up with New York.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just, you know, from a Mariners standpoint with this, I mean, look, you haven't got the offense clicking, the heart and soul of the offense, middle of the order. If you can walk away from this against, you know, a playoff contending team in the Cleveland Guardians, a 2-2 sweep, excuse me, 2-2 split coming out of spring training, yeah, you'll take it.
Yeah, some big series coming up, including Seattle against the Yankees. Then they'll be in Anaheim for an Angels team that has come out of the chute hot as well. They won their first 2 and then ended up in Splitsville with Houston. That's the schedule coming up for the Mariners. Early big series, though, in the American League, Seattle and the Yankees. That one fades outside. 14 strikeouts, by the way, for the combination of Cooper Criswell and Emerson Hancock tonight. I mean, the Guardians, Dodgers, and the Cubs.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yes, exactly. When we go home, yeah, we've got the Cubbies and Kansas City after that.
David Fry gives it a ride to left field, but that is all she wrote. Seattle shuts out Cleveland 8-0 for a split of the first 4 of the season. And our debut of Sunday Night Baseball was 6 innings of no-hit baseball for Emerson Hancock.
Yeah, I think Emerson Hancock's a big story tonight, especially too. He's in a situation in spring training, doesn't know where he stands with this team. Bryce Miller goes down with an injury. He gets a chance to be the 5th starter on this team. And he goes out and sets a career high in strikeouts. That was the thing with him, the weak point for him last year. He couldn't get that strikeout. He gets 9 tonight. That's really the story to go along with some of the offense.
And that 4-seamer was very impressive to me. You know, you hear he was a sinker baller, and Adam was talking about it all day. And you were seeing a different animal today out on the mound. So it was totally different, and he was terrific.
Strong evolution from Emerson Hancock. We'll come back. We'll wrap it from Seattle. When we return, the Mariners